Today we explore Quebec, Canada's largest province. Quebec is culturally different from the rest of Canada due to its roots as a French colony and is even considered becoming their own nation a few times over the years. Most of the people of Quebec even speak a different language. While the rest of Canada is mostly English speaking, the official language of Quebec is French.
Merci beaucoup. Devoir grande.
So join us as we explore all things Quebec.
S'il vous plaît. When I get to go to Quebec, the first place I will go is Old City, Quebec.
Quebec City is one of the oldest European settlements in North America and is the only fortified city north of Mexico whose walls still exist. Home to the earliest known French settlement in North America, Fort Charles Royal, it was founded in 1541 by French explorer Jacques Cartier.
There's over 60 years before the founding of Jamestown, folks.
It was abandoned soon after, but the settlement of Quebec was founded by French explorer Samuel de Champlain in 1608. Making up the Upper Town and Lower Town, Old Quebec is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The best way to explore Old Quebec is by foot on its 400-year-old streets. You can visit Place Royale, where Quebec began. A good time to go is in February during the Quebec Winter Carnival, the largest winter festival in the Western Hemisphere.
You want to build a snowman? There's all kinds of things to do at the festival, like dancing and free food and sports.
Every year, thousands of visitors flock to the Quebec Winter Carnival to enjoy a host of activities for all ages, including night parades, snow sculptures, shows, and skating.
It's in February. I'm putting it on my calendar. Quebec is in central Canada, with its neighbor, Ontario.
Quebec and Ontario are Canada's two largest and most populous provinces. Combined, the two provinces have around 23 million people, which represents 62% of Canada's population. The most urbanized and industrialized areas of Canada, Central Canada is home to Toronto and Montreal, Canada's two largest cities, and Ottawa, the national capital.
They have the most people, but not the most polar bears. Churchill, Manitoba is the polar bear capital of the world! 70% of the world's maple syrup.
Maple syrup was first made and used by the indigenous peoples of North America. The practice was adopted by European settlers who refined the production methods. Maple trees are usually tapped beginning at 30 to 40 years of age. Each tree can support between 1 and 3 taps depending on its trunk diameter. The average maple tree will produce 35 to 50 liters of sap per season, up to 12 liters per day. Quebec is a major player in several industries including aerospace, information technologies, software, and multimedia. Over 1 million Quebecers work in the field of science and technology.
Quebec is also home to poutine, Canada's national dish.
A dish of French fries and cheese curds topped with a brown gravy. It may not be the most healthy meal, but it is delicious. While Quebec City was not the first French settlement in North America, it was the first to be meant as a permanent settlement and not a simple trading post.
Beaver fur was very expensive in Europe, and New France had a lot of beavers.
At the trading posts, First Nations Indians traded their furs for many French goods such as metal objects, guns, and clothing. In the early going of New France, the Canadians had to spend a lot of time fighting off the English and Native American tribes such as the Iroquois, even founding Montreal on an island to protect it from the Native American attacks. From 1688 on, competition between the French Empire and British Empire to control North America's fur trade pitted New France and its indigenous allies against the Iroquois and the English. In a series of 4 wars called the French and Indian Wars by Americans and the Intercolonial Wars in Quebec, the British were able to gain control of New France at the end of the 7-Year War, which ended in 1763.
The people of Quebec were able to keep their language and religion.
Quebec has twice voted on whether to secede or break away from Canada and become their own country. A debate since Canada's founding in 1867, the Quebec independence movement was born out of the fear that the English-speaking Canada would eventually make Quebec lose their language and unique culture, not to mention their Catholic religion. A referendum was voted on in Quebec in 1980, with the choice for independence getting struck down by a 60 to 40% vote. A new referendum in 1995 proved to be much closer, narrowly remaining a part of Canada with 50.5% of the vote. It's unknown what will ultimately happen regarding Quebec.
Will they stay or will they go?
A native of Quebec, Pierre Trudeau was Prime Minister of Canada from 1968 to 1979 and 1980 to 1984. He served longer than any other leader in the Western world during his time in office, becoming the elder statesman of the West. His achievements include official bilingualism for the country, making English and French official languages, the 1980 defeat of Quebec's separatism, the creation of the Canadian Constitution, and the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms.
His son, Justin Trudeau, is the current Canadian Prime Minister.
There are 11 distinct ethnic groups of Indigenous people in Quebec, numbering about 142,000 people in total.
One group is the Inuit in northern Quebec.
With about 13,000 people, they were isolated from European contact longer than the other Indigenous communities. They live in 14 villages in Nunavik, north of the 55th parallel. Inuktitut is the mother tongue spoken by the majority, while English is the second language for most. They changed very quickly from a semi-nomadic to a sedentary people and had to adapt to centuries of technological advances over a few short decades. Despite this, the Inuit still retain their values, language, and culture.
The Inuit relies on subsistence when the men go out to hunt, so they can feed their community. Since most plants don't grow that far in the north, most of their food is meat.
Other groups of Indigenous people in Quebec include the subgroups of the Algonquin and Iroquois people. The Summer Olympics were held in Montreal in 1976. Notable events from 1976 include 14-year-old Romanian gymnast Nadia Comaneci scoring the first perfect 10 on her way to winning 3 gold medals. Bruce Jenner winning the decathlon, setting a world record for points. And heavyweight boxer Clarence Hill winning a bronze medal for Bermuda, making Bermuda the smallest nation in terms of population to win an Olympic medal at the Summer Olympics.
Of Quebec are amazing!
Another reason to come to Quebec is the beautiful nature. In the spirit of Africa's Big Five animals, Quebec has its own Big Five: the gray wolf, blue whale, snowy owl, black bear, and the moose. In the summer months, there is a great chance to see whales and moose. Bears are a bit more difficult, and you might need to get lucky to see a wolf or a snowy owl.
Bring your binoculars, folks.
Other interesting animals you can see in Quebec include beavers, beluga whales, puffins, flying squirrels, and wolverines. An area best explored on foot, Old Montreal is made up of 17th, 18th, and 19th century buildings at the edge of Montreal's Old Port. Many of the top Montreal tourist attractions are within this historic section of the city, including the neo-Gothic Notre Dame Basilica in the square at Place Jacques Cartier.
The Notre Dame Basilica of Montreal is visited by 1 million people every year!
Couples and families alike will love the observation wheel. This newer addition to the river's edge provides views over Old Montreal, downtown, and beyond from within enclosed gondolas.
What about the ice hotel, narrator?
The Hotel des Glaces is the only ice hotel in North America and opens every winter from January to March, made entirely of snow and ice. While there, you can explore the Grand Hall, chapel, ice slide, rooms, and suites. The hotel is built using 500 tons of ice and 40,000 tons of snow, and every winter a new theme inspires the architecture and the setting of the hotel.
Well, there you have it, folks. Quebec! Thank you for watching.